So things seem to be blossoming once again for Mercedes-Benz India with the launch of their entry-level models, the A-Class and the B-Class, which are making them a lot of numbers and money. And speaking of money, time is money and money is time. And speaking of time, the much-awaited CLA sedan is still some time away for India. But if you have the money and if you're ready to shell it out, Mercedes-Benz can give you that four-door coupe soon, but in a different form. It's called the CLA45 AMG. The CLA is a stunner in the looks department thanks to its CLS-inspired four-door coupe form. The AMG version pushes the envelope further though with a hunkered stance and sportier bodywork. It is like a college heartthrob getting an extreme makeover that makes her all the more desirable. It has got matte black alloy wheels like those on the SLK55, large wedge-shaped air intakes and scooped-out air dams like the ones on the E63, a splitter, a diffuser, fins on the side skirts, and of course the new AMG tailpipes. There are the customary AMG badges too, but this time there's a new one that says Turbo. That is because the CLA45 AMG comes with an all-new engine from Untitled, a 2-litre inline 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine. Now the big deal is that this is the smallest engine that AMG makes. We are used to seeing the V8s and the V12s, but this is just an inline 4. The bigger deal is AMG claims that this is so far the most powerful 4-cylinder petrol engine in the world. It's a turbocharged engine and puts out about 360 PS of power and 450 Newton meters of torque. Now those figures coming from an AMG may not make you jump out of the seat, but then this sedan accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.6 seconds, and that is pretty good for an entry-level performance sedan. In fact, that makes it 0.3 seconds quicker to 100 than the SLK55 AMG. The CLA stock gearbox is replaced with AMG's 7-speed dual-clutch speed-shift sports transmission. It is quick to respond when you step on the throttle. However, on path throttle, it tends to be slower to downshift. But with an AMG, you're better off using those sporty aluminium paddle shifters. In typical AMG fashion, it matches revs every time you downshift, but at the same time, you'll miss the series of little explosive sounds that you get on AMGs with bigger engines. Now this is a 4-cylinder engine, so you can't expect to get that throaty sound that you get from a V6, a V8 or a V12. This one, however, is quite a good sounding engine. This is much like the inline 4-cylinder motorcycles that we have, and it is loud enough to wake up an entire neighborhood. But what you will simply love is the wastegate whistle, which is frequent and sweet enough to give those tuner cars a run for their money. Now the AMG version also comes with the 4MATIC 4-wheel drive system. However, at stable speeds or cruising speeds, all the power and torque is fed to the front-wheel drive mechanism. But whenever you're involved in spirited driving or whenever you have any sort of slip at any of the wheels, then up to 50% of the torque can be sent to the rear wheels to aid better stability. The interiors of the CLA45 AMG are more or less similar to those of the A-Class. However, this being an AMG car, you can take it to the AMG Performance Studio and customize it the way you want. This one here gets black leather with red stitching and these Recaro sporty seats. That said, you may want to replace the clumsy plastic bits in the dashboard and the center console with carbon fiber because they tend to become noisy with time, as the stiff suspension setup allows quite a bit of vibes and thuds to filter into the cabin, even when you're driving in comfort mode. Apart from the plastics and the stiff ride, the CLA45 AMG is one fun sedan. So overall, I think the CLA45 AMG is a very good package. It's a great looker, it's a very good performer, it sounds quite good. All that remains to be seen now is what pricing it comes at, because that could act like a double-edged sword.